Hi everyone and welcome back. It's been a few months, but I'm finally going to be talking about the Canadian real estate market and what's been happening over the past few months. I know this is a little late, I missed the Q3 timeline, but I struggled to make a relevant video about the entire Canadian housing market. Going forward, I'm probably going to be splitting it into two separate videos. One about Canada in general, and then one doing a deep dive in the Greater Toronto area because there's just so much to cover. I'll start off by regurgitating the facts and stats of a few large Canadian cities, and then I'll go over my opinion on where I think we're going in the future. Guys, I hate to do this. Nobody likes a sore winner, but I just want to remind you of my previous video around 9 months ago where I predicted almost exactly what was going to happen with the Canadian real estate market. Again, I hate to constantly remind everyone that was pretty much bang on. Everything I said came true. It's almost as if I had a crystal ball. Remember, I seem biased. I probably am biased. Prices increasing benefit me. I'm a realtor and I own property. But also, I have the experience. I'm selling the houses. I'm dealing with the clients. I have my toes in the sand. Toes in the sand? Fingers in the soup? Toes in the water? I don't know. Moving on. The average price of homes across Canada have been increasing, but that doesn't tell the whole story. What I'm very happy about, a little sidebar comment, the rental prices in Toronto and Vancouver have been decreasing, which I'm very, very happy about. The price of a one-bedroom condo in downtown Toronto was around $2,500 per month, which is insane. Landlords were getting greedy, demand was high, supply was low. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. How would the prices ever ease off? They were increasing at a scary pace, more than a normal person, the average person or couple could afford. I never would have expected this, not this quickly, but rents are down 10% from last year. I don't feel bad for the landlords either. They were riding a high. They've been killing it for years. Now they actually have to manage their cash flow, manage their properties, and maybe even provide better incentives for tenants to lease their units. However, I don't see this as a permanent shift in rents to lower prices forever. This is just a temporary shift. I'll talk about leases and rents more in the future. Let's focus on sales and prices for now. Let me go over a few large cities. Let's start with Ottawa. Sales increased by 50% compared to 2019. Selling prices increased by 20% for both condos and freehold properties. Taking a look at these charts provided by the real estate board, low supply is clearly an issue. The demand is there, but clearly the supply is not. Looking at Halifax, in September 2020, the average price breached $300,000 for the first time ever. Sales increased 38%, whereas prices increased 22.6% year over year. Looking at the same charts, demand increases, supply isn't there. Calgary is a mixed bag. Low volume and slightly lower prices as well, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Calgary seems scary at the beginning of 2020. Take a look at this massive drop in prices, followed by a sharp increase a few months later. Detached prices are up 1%, townhouses are down 7%, and condos are down 2% compared to last year. Moving on to Vancouver. They don't seem to experience quite the same supply issue. The charts look much better than the previous cities. Sales were up 44% in 2020 compared to 2019. Prices for freehold homes were up 7.8% compared to condos, which were up 4.5%. Pretty modest increases, but remember, Vancouver is crazy expensive to begin with. Lastly, Toronto has a similar story. Sales increased 42%, prices increased 14%, which is relatively tame for Toronto. But also, for the first time in years, condos are lagging behind the freehold. Condos are being oversupplied. Single-family residential units are clearly undersupplied. Condo sales increased by 10%, whereas detached sales increased by 50%. People working from home, the more need for space, moving away from the downtown core, all reasons for this shift. There are many reasons for the higher than average and higher than expected prices and volume. Pent-up demand from the spring and summer months is one. Many people have been waiting on the sidelines, either waiting for a crash or waiting to see what would happen with the pandemic/recession. Then seeing as we get a grasp on the illness, we get a grasp on what's happening with recession, they didn't lose their jobs, we see a massive jump from everyone waiting on the sidelines, jumping back into the market at the same time. I hope that the rest of the Canadians don't mind, but I'm going to speak on Toronto for a little bit. That's where most of my expertise comes in. There were over 12,000 Airbnb units for the GTA in January 2020. Now I'm guessing all of those are losing money, so they either have to turn into long-term leases or sell the unit. This obviously causes an influx of condos being brought on the market, oversupply. Then add on to that the new condos coming online from the developers building them. That adds even more condos on the market. All of a sudden, you get oversupply of condos, decreasing demand because people want more space. They're going towards more the freehold or detached units. This causes the condo prices to be down slightly from their pre-pandemic prices. What I want everyone to understand, everything happens in cycles. Prices go up, demand goes up, prices go down, demand goes down. Cycles, we get it. But I have a question for the people who are waiting on the sidelines, people waiting for the fall, for the crash to happen, people waiting for all the mortgages to start defaulting. Okay, it's November, we're in the fall. Where is it? Where are the 700,000 families defaulting on their loans? Do you not realize that the banks and the federal government might not let this happen? Mortgages will be deferred 6 months. Mortgages will be deferred 12 months. I know it's not a solution, it's just kicking the can further down the road, but where's this crash you were waiting for? What I want to point out is that the underlying issues haven't been fixed. The government will continue to provide funding, which will ultimately lead to increase in taxes, but that's a topic for another video. Some of the underlying issues I was talking about, there are not enough single-family detached houses being built and too many condos being built, in my mind. Immigration is halted for now, but do you think immigration will last forever? Do you think that immigration ban will last forever? Immigration is halted for now, but it will open back up. More families will start coming in, more people will need places to live and not condos. I feel bad for everyone who is sitting on the sidelines who missed the boat, missed the opportunity to buy a unit at a decent price, but what does sitting on the sidelines do? Everyone tells you don't try to time the market. But look at what happened in September. Everyone who was sitting on the sidelines for the spring and summer months came back into the market at the same time. Now you're competing with more people for less units, more bidding wars, more overpayments on homes. Do I want prices to continually increase at this crazy pace? No. But do I see an end anytime soon? Also no. Many people ask, probably the reason why you're watching this video, should I buy a house now? The answer is yes. Another question, should I buy a house or condo to lease out as an investment? That's where my answer varies. The response is a little more dicey. Do you know rents have decreased? Do you know vacancy has increased? How many months can you afford to have the unit vacant? Can you afford a cash negative rental until you can slowly bring the prices back up? These are all questions you have to ask yourself. A lot of people ask me, am I buying properties now? The answer is no. Frankly, I'm too deeply invested in real estate, I'm too leveraged, and the banks won't give me any more mortgages, which is fine. I'm going to end this video here. Going forward, I'm probably going to be focusing more on Toronto and the GTA. I'm not able to provide as much value on Canada as a whole. Like, as you can see this video, it was a little all over the place. Please send me any comments or questions you have. I'll do my best to answer them if you're not in Toronto. Please also remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for my next video on real estate, probably going to be in January. Thanks, guys.